The D-Box Gen 5 4250i is probably the most notorious sim racing motion system on the market. Over the past few years, it has been on almost every motion turnkey racing simulator, at least that's what I feel like, and has become the most popular motion system thanks to some clever marketing and, of course, performance. But how is this system in 2025? Is it worth its hefty price tag, and is it still at the top of its game? So today, we talk about that. We were sent out this D-Box Gen 5 for review, but I want to give my genuine thoughts. No BS, no fluff, just you, me, and my genuine and also some intrusive thoughts. So first off, the packaging. The presentation of this system is beautiful. These small black boxes on each corner make for this sim to be extremely pretty. Along with the haptic controller being the size of a max size iPhone or something similar, it's not very big, it's impressively well put together. And I'll be honest, the big actuator systems, they're not super ugly, but they're not sleek and small like this. However, that's just looks. But to some people, that does really matter. If you buy a simulator for more of a piece of art or something in a room, it has to be pretty. And that's what this does very well. It's well put together, the ability to have gorgeous wiring, but at the end of the day, it comes down to performance. However, before we get into that, here are some walkthroughs of the software. It's very, very simple stuff. D-Box has its own dedicated software. You do have to download .NET 5, which can be relatively confusing to figure out, but adjustability is simple and there's a plethora of games to use with this system, including added subscriptions where you can watch movies with it and utilize other games like roller coaster simulators. All right, performance. We need to talk about that. So the stats, 1.5 inches of travel and 100 millimeter per second travel speed. Off the rip, compared to its competitors like the Cubic System QS210 or even the QS220 and the Veromotion Champion GT, frankly, that's lackluster. However, the argument from D-Box is that you don't need a lot of travel. So as we watch my driving, let's talk about that performance and feel. And off the rip, you can definitely tell there's a lack of travel. I mean, I could feel it while sitting there and you could see it on video. The thing doesn't move too much. However, I was genuinely surprised about how well I was enjoying the system. Although I didn't have a lot of travel and a lot of movement, I still feel that I enjoyed it. Now, not to a huge extent like I did with some other systems, but it wasn't extremely disappointing as I thought I would be. I was still able to get the feedback and movement of the system, and it was very precise in that sort of way. But to be honest, you have to be really careful with your software setup. At first, I just maxed everything out, and it completely freaked out. I turned every 40 number, which in the software you'll see, up by 6, and it works well in terms of smoothness and feedback from your game software. My favorite bit of movement is slamming the brakes. That jolt is very violent in a good way, but that's about it. Overall, the travel of this system is, to be honest, very, very disappointing. And even if you drive GT3 cars or Formula cars and you make the argument, oh, well, those cars don't have a lot of suspension movement, you still want that travel in terms of elevation and moving through corners. You still want to be tossed through your seat just like you would be in a real car, or at least have that feeling of being pushed against the seat because of those G-forces. I want the feedback to help me be able to go faster and to understand what's happening beneath me. That 1.5 inches is frankly lackluster, and even at the full 1.5, it freaks out and it caps out, so 1.3 is the max, at least what I found. So overall, not a big fan of the movement of the system. But that's not to say I didn't enjoy this system. Now, I didn't enjoy it because of the travel. Like, I just explained that. I obviously did not. If anything, I wish there was an inch to an inch and a half more of travel. It's like a tickle of travel right now. What I like the most about this system is its haptics. The haptics on this system are friggin' fantastic. Honestly, they're amazing. And that's because, if you didn't know, D-Box's background is in 4D movie theater seats with haptics and motion. That's right, the seats that move and vibrate to your favorite movies. Thus, those haptics need to work well in order to give the full movie experience, and those seats aren't cheap, so if a movie theater is shelling out, 50 to 70 of them, they better work well. And because of that, the haptics are absolutely phenomenal. I did nothing to change the haptics, and I'm in love with them. From the rumble strips to driving vibrations to gear shift, it is amazingly reactive. Genuinely, it is some of the best haptics you could feel in the sim racing world. But that comes with the question, is this system worth it? At $8,250 with brackets, this system is rather pricey. One of the priciest on the market. And my big liking to this system is the haptics. Why not just have haptic reactors on all four corners? It would do almost the same thing. Well, it's not a bad system. If you think of the looks and you like the looks, the small footprint, and how it feels after trying it, and think it fits your driving style, even with only 1.5 inches of travel, in my opinion, try other systems to make your decision. And from an insider perspective, from someone who works in the sim racing market, these systems aren't the most reliable. Now, of course, this one has had no issues because I've just gotten it. However, they do have some issues. I personally have had to replace a couple Gen 5 actuators on a couple setups just here in the Atlanta area. Now, to be honest, I did not install those systems, so I do not know if it was a setup issue, if they just went faulty, but if you look up on Reddit and other places on the internet, D-Box actuators is just one corner likes to go out sometimes. But I mean, that is one out of the dozens and dozens, frankly, maybe even hundreds of systems that have been sold. And also a big part of it is the convenience. I mean, shoot, there are dozens of places across the world in terms of lounges, stores, etc., where you can try these. I mean, it is the most popular system for a reason, and I'm sure a lot of people get them because, well, it's the only system they've tried. And we even have it at our shop at 145 Enterprise Drive, Suite A, in Cumming, Georgia, with the zip code 30040. And if you want to try out this system or any of our other motion systems, send us an email at info@boundlessracing.com or text us at 678-974-1190 to set up an appointment. There's a very particular buyer that fits this system perfectly. Someone who wants a complete turnkey system that belongs in a room like a piece of art. Someone who's making a dedicated room, or maybe they had their basement renovated, or somewhere where they have a very, very pretty looking room like a man cave where it's a usable piece of art. However, if you're looking for pure performance, adjustability, and sometimes even reliability, I don't think this is the system for you. However, it might be. That's each to their own. In my opinion, I wouldn't jump immediately to this system. It doesn't suck. I like this system, but it doesn't knock my socks off. Especially with that price tag, it definitely doesn't knock my socks off. I try out some other systems, like the Cubic System 3 DOF systems, or even the VeroMotion Champion GT, which we will be comparing head to head within the next week to share my thoughts and opinions. So, with that, what do you think of the D-Box Gen 5? If you tried one before and you do want to purchase one, check out the link down below where we at Boundless Racing do sell them. However, if you want to try other systems and you're not entirely sold on it, I 100% agree with you. You should definitely do that, just like every other thing in the sim racing market. So with that, leave your comments down below. And again, if you're looking to get your own D-Box Gen 5 system or even a turnkey racing simulator with a D-Box system, check us out at boundlessracing.com and even install our turnkey racing simulators across the US with our white glove installation service. And if you're looking to get a turnkey simulator for yourself this Christmas, make sure to order one before October 31st to guarantee it gets to you and delivered before Christmas. So with that, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.